Hello everybody. How are you doing on this beautiful Friday? Here I am. I'm Robin from By Cooking Creations, and it's been a minute since I have gone live. So I know I didn't put up a notice that I was going to do this, but unfortunately my sunflower video has dropped off my list of videos that I had saved. I don't know what happened to it. But I need to get it loaded on my YouTube channel, because I probably have at least one person a week email me saying, can you please send me your video of your sunflower? And I don't have one. So I am busy replenishing my stock for my craft sale starting in September 12th is my first fall sale. I will be going August 9th to Twin Pines. It's a spot very close to here where I live near Grand Bend. And I am going to be taking some of my fall stuff, so I thought that I would take a sunflower. So I thought, I'm doing a 24-inch one, which is one that I use an 8-inch four-wire frame and a 12-inch, and I'm going to put them together. And this is the one that people seem to really, are very, very interested in, because it makes a beautiful big flower. So I'm going to be doing one of those today, and I thought I'm going to do a video and share it, and then I'm going to load it on my YouTube channel, and then that way I will have it saved again. I have no idea what happened to it. I was 100% sure that I had saved that one, but unfortunately it is nowhere to be found. So in the world of Facebook, they've done something to it. So anyway, because I didn't make a note that I was going to be on, I'm not going to wait for a whole bunch of people. Most of my videos are caught on the replay anyway, so I will just kind of give you an idea of what we're working with today and what you're going to need. And I will put everything you need on the comments in the video when I post it on YouTube, and I'll probably do that tonight. So you're going to need a 12-inch 4-wire frame. I got mine off Amazon. The local craft store, Greenbucks, used to carry these for me, but there's new owners there now, and they're not interested in the customer service that I got from Matt at Greenbucks. So I just ordered the 12-inch off of Amazon. Okay, and you're going to need a 4-wire 8-inch. Now, Dollar Tree only has the 3-wire, and I don't use those ones. I use the 3-wire ones if I'm doing something maybe Christmassy and I'm putting like greenery and stuff on it. But when I'm doing straight master, I like to use the 4-wire. So there's a 8-inch and a 12-inch, because the 8-inch wreath frame fits right inside, kind of, the 12-inch. So it makes a beautiful big wreath. And the sunflower ends up being about 24 inches in diameter, which is really, really nice. You can use this. I do a black and white Christmas flower as well with the black and white stripe, and I use this exact technique for that as well. And I will post a picture of that on this video in the comments, just to show you that even though it looks completely different, the petal fold is exactly the same, and how I make it is exactly the same. So 99.9% of my wreaths I do with this petal, because I just love it. And deco mesh, if you use a deco mesh, it looks very different. I use the horizontal wide strip for my sunflowers. It makes a more vibrant flower. The petals are more stiff, and it stands up to weather a lot more. Now, if you're hanging this on a door that's facing west, east, or south, you're going to want to make sure that you spray it really, really well with Scotchgard UV. If it's not protected at all, it will fade, okay? But I have mine on my front door, and it's a north facing, and we have a big covered porch on the front. And I mean, mine doesn't even, there's not even any color change or anything. So we're quite shaded here too. I don't have a whole lot of, I have a little bit of sun right over on the patio right there. That's about it. So, anyway, so those are the frames that you're going to need. Now for the green, I do my row of green on the 12-inch only. So on this particular frame, there are 10 spots. So you're going to need 10 pieces of green. And then on the 8-inch, you're going to put 3 rows of yellow. So you're going to do, not on the outside row, but on the next one and the next one and the next one. And you'll be 8 on each. So you need 24 there and 10 here. So you're going to need 34 pieces. Now, if you want to do this, I do a fall orange sunflower. I don't put any green on it. I just do the 3 rows of orange on this, and I do the orange on this, and it is gorgeous. I don't really like the green with the orange, with the leaves. I don't know. I think the orange sunflower looks so much nicer if it's all just the orange horizontal wide strip. I don't know why. It's just maybe my taste. If you wanted to put maybe 1 or 2 leaves on it, like maybe up at the top or something, you could probably do that, but I don't. I just leave it all the same. But for the sunflower, I do this. Now, the other great thing is, if you're making the sunflowers just on the 8-inch frame, and you have someone that says, geez, I'd really like a 24-inch one, just do a row of green on a 12-inch and then attach it together. There'll be 2 rows of leaves and 2 rows of yellow, but it looks so amazing. So when I do my wreath classes, I always take 3 or 4 of these already with the leaves on it, the green on it, and I sell them separately so that if someone gets it finished and thinks, geez, I wish it was a little bit bigger. So any of the sunflowers that you have already, if you have done it on an 8-inch wire, you can make it bigger. And I find with a core door that has, a front door core door that has no window or anything, I like the 24-inch better. The 22-inch will fit right in between the glass, and I know I've said that 100 times to you guys, but the 22-inch looks beautiful on a door with a window in it because it'll fit right inside. Use a command hook, stick the hook right on the glass. Forget about those stupid things that go over the top of your door. They wreck your weather stripping and they scratch your door. Just put a little command hook right on the glass and get an outside one. I've not ever had a problem. So that's it. That's my preamble. We're going to get going. So I have pretty much all my mesh cut, but I did leave, I only cut 5 for the last row because I just wanted to show you how I do it, okay? Because everybody asks me my techniques and stuff. So this is our horizontal wide strip, and you know they have nice big holes when you're doing your, oh, come on, my phone's acting up here. Oh, you know what? I gotta plug my phone in here, guys. Just a second. I'm gonna get it okay. Sugar baby, check that before I started. There we go. All right. Now I gotta hurry up and do this because that's my cord for my gun here. Let's just pull you down a little bit. Okay, so I've got my piece of glass here and I've got it marked. The pieces are 10 by 10, so it's 10 wide, so you're just gonna make a mark. And I just used my little gun here, and it works so well. And I'm just going to cut 3 pieces, and then we'll be all ready to rock and roll. So I just pick a spot close to the 10-inch mark and go all the way up. And this is our last piece. Perfect. So I've got 24 pieces of the yellow cut, and I've got 10 pieces of the green. Okay, so let me know when you've joined. I've just got my camera. I don't have any other technology here to see my comments, but if you pop up hey, how you doing, I'll see it. Okay, so I've already got all of my zip ties on here. So you're going to put a zip tie on the bar and then one in the middle, bar, middle, all the way around. And I do it on this, the second one in. is the bar that I put the zip tie on. Okay? Okay, so let's get going. Here's my green. I've got 10 pieces of it cut. So how I do my fold, the one thing you got to remember is to keep your selvage on the same side of all your petals. However you like to do it, it doesn't matter. Just make sure that your selvage is always on one side. I always keep my selvage I make it into a triangle, and I keep my selvage on the top on this side. So we bring the top piece down to the bottom, make like a little kerchief, fold that down. And the big key thing is keeping your hands on the mesh when you're making your petal. That way, how it looks on the table is how it's going to look on your wreath when you get it put on there. So we're just going to pinch here, and we're going to do 3 pinches to go up to the top. Remember, the point is pointing to your belly, okay? So we go 1, 2, 3, and it's going to look like this. We're just going to flip that up and make some rabbit ears and turn it on the side. And then I just kind of manipulate that a little bit just to make it, and try to make sure that your points are about the same here on each end. And then when you put it on your wreath frame, the biggest thing you got to remember is keep it so that it's sitting like this. So it's standing up straight and tall. You're going to pull it nice and tight so it's going to look like this. You want it nice and tight. That way it won't fall over, because if you have this leaning on one side or the other, your petal's going to be all wonky, because you want it to stand up and look like that when you have it on your frame. And you're basically going to be doing that 9 more times. So you're going to do 1 on the bar, 1 in the middle, 1 on the bar, and 1 in the middle. We're going to take the top, bring it down to the bottom. We're going to smooth it. We're going to put the point pointing to our belly. Our hands are on the mesh. 1, 2, 3. We're going to have some little rabbit ears. We're going to flip those up. And then I like to just kind of make that look nice and make it about the same. Once you do a few of them, you kind of get to know what how your tails have to look. And so there we go. And we're going to do that all the way around. And the nice thing about this wreath is that the fold is the same for every petal. I normally have, when I'm doing something like this, I kind of have it somewhat prepped so that I only have a couple of rows for each one, but I didn't do that today. So you're going to have to drone along, fast forward through on the replay. That's what I used to do. I would watch the gal do 2 or 3 of them and then work along with it, and then fast forward till she gets to the next spot. And so however you want to view it, it works out perfectly. This particular petal is what I also use on my crosses, and I use the white horizontal wide strip. It makes a beautiful cross. It stands up so nice. And you know, if you use a wood burner, it doesn't fray, which is really nice, because I used to do mine out of poly burlap. And now with poly burlap, I'm Canadian, so poly burlap for me to buy is just ridiculous. And it is so much work, and it frays like crazy. And I used to, I did everything. I put stuff on the ends, and I sprayed it, and I did everything. And this stuff is a dream to work with, and it's such a great price point. I see girls selling the poly burlap sunflowers, and they up here in Canada, and they're selling them for $50, and I'm thinking, good Lord, you're not making any money, because I think a roll of poly burlap has got to be close to $16 here. So, you know, it's crazy. This is, I think in Craft Outlet, I paid, I think it's like, what is it, $4? $4.95, something like that, for a ball of this. I bought this stuff a year and a half ago. I bought cases of the yellow and the green because I was doing so many classes, and then things kind of waned off a little bit, but I love having the stash here because I had a sunflower order today actually, and with it being fall coming, I want to take about have 4 big ones and 4 little ones for my sale. So, and I have 2 fall sales that I'm going to, so I'm getting a little paranoid because I haven't hardly started any Christmas yet. I'm doing some of the Green Monster stuff this year, so now I just keep going all the way around. And with it standing, see they're standing up so nicely, they just go all the way around. They look so nice. Oh, I'm not sure of my green. Oh. I got a whole bunch of mesh cut because I'm making a whole bunch of them today. So. Okay, and I got one more to go. I'll just steal it out of this one. And cut another one. I usually like to cut it all, have my mesh all cut and everything all prepped, so that when I put it together, it just takes a few minutes. This takes maybe about, I think from start to finish, it takes about a half an hour to make one. When I do my classes, I plan for about 2 hours, but we're never that long. Okay, so there's that. Cut these off. Okay, so now we're done with this one for now. So there it is. It's beautiful. And those are our leaves. And I'm just going to put that over here. And we're going to get into our yellow. And like I said, we're going to be, oops, I got one in the way. We're going to be using an 8-inch wire for 8-inch wreath frame 4 wire. And we're going to be starting on this row right here, and so this is row 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're just going to be using row 2, 3, and 4. We're going to be putting a zip tie on the bar and one in the middle, bar in the middle, all the way around. Funny, when I do my wreath classes, this often is the thing that takes the longest time is putting the zip ties on. So what I've done is some of my classes, if the girls haven't done a class before with me and they're not used to, with the zip ties, I'll put the first row on, and it just alleviates a lot of frustration for them. It makes it a lot easier. And everybody's kind of ready to go folding fabric right off the bat. So, and again, the nice thing, like I said, the fabric fold is the same for the yellow and the green petals. So, makes it nice. These zip ties in Canada are so much money. I cannot believe how much they cost. I have to order them up. I got a bunch of shorties in here. I have to order them off of Amazon. And they're about, I think they're close to $30 now to get, I think, 1,000. So there they go. We got them all ready to go. Okay, so now we're going to start with the yellow, and we've got 8 for the first row. We're going to have 3 rows, 8 at each row, so 24 10 by 10 yellow. So we're going to take the top, bring it down to the bottom. I always kind of try to get my points like looking really nice. And then we're going to zip it up 3 times, lay it on its side, fold it down. And again, what I always say in my class is, when it's sitting like this, I go, okay, look at it. How do you like that? because how it looks on the table right now is how it's going to look on your wreath. So you bring your frame in and you just slide that in. Now, on this row, this first row of yellow, you're going to be putting a yellow on this top row, right on top of this. So the rule of thumb is to just have that coming just past that third ring, so that you can put a zip tie on here and have it lay on top, because you're going to be doing the next row. Of course, it's going to be in between these, right? And then the third row is going to be the same as the first. This is the only row you have to worry about. So if you figure about a finger width from the end of your nub to the zip tie, you should be good. Okay? So that'll give you an idea of how far up on the frame you should put your fold. Because if you don't do that, when you get to your frame up here, you're not going to have anything to, you're not going to have anywhere to put your zip tie on, because there's not going to be any frame exposed. You don't have to worry about row 2 or row 3, because you're going to be using a center and it's going to cover, there's nothing going to be going on top of anything. It's only the first row that has something that goes on top of it. This confuses people sometimes when I'm doing my classes, and they think, oh, I got to keep it back all the way around. No, just on this row is the only row that you have to worry about that. So there's your flowers. See how nice and pointy they are? And I think this fold really resembles what a sunflower looks like, because they do have pointed petals. And I used to do a different petal, and I struggled with it. I didn't like how it looked. They didn't lay flat. You know, it's this petal seems to lay the nicest and look the neatest. And I have so many compliments on my sunflowers when I go to a sale, so I'm not going to change. If it's not broke, don't change it, right? And I've been making them this way for probably, I'm going to say, at least 3 years. I love making them. It's my favorite thing. Oh, that's it. Tie didn't stay. Then up. Sometimes the zip ties are, you know, they don't work right. They slip right out and whatever, and that's just because, you know, they're made in a factory. And again, keeping and making sure that your selvage is on the same side. What that does is it makes sure as your flower sits that the selvage is always the cut side. Although with this fabric, it's not as crucial, because you can't really tell the selvage side to the cut side if you cut it right along the line. Cutting the wreaths are probably, cutting your petals out are probably the most important thing when you're making a wreath. You want to make sure that your edges are all nice and straight, and there's no strings hanging, or it just makes them look so much nicer when you have them hanging up and you're trying to sell them. The only thing with this mesh, sometimes you get some little threads like this, and it's just the thread that goes along the very edge. Just pull it off, because it's not attached to anything once you take each end off. See, we're almost done the first row. It doesn't take very long to make these, you know. Once you get your fold down, and you pull those zip ties nice and tight, because you don't want the petal to pull out of your wreath. So cutting is important. Having a clean surface to make it on is important. Making sure that your zip ties are pulled really nice and tight. And one of the most important things with this style of wreath is that you keep that nub back from that ring, so I have room to put a zip tie on there to put my last row. And that is my last one for that row. So there we go. And let's cut these off. I always put a piece of black, I put a piece of black craft foam on the back of my wreaths when they're done. Not that it looks really yucky or anything, but it just makes it look a little nicer. Just that guy in that blue truck just drove by. He's come down here a couple times. I'm wondering if he's looking at maybe buying a cottage down here. It's funny, we live on a dead-end street, and we're about the fourth house or so from the end. So anybody driving by here is usually the people that live down at the end, right? When you see a different vehicle, it's like, I wonder who that is. We're just so accustomed to the same old thing here. I'm in my 19th year being at the lake here, and I just absolutely love it. These days when it's so cool and sunny, oh my God, it's just gorgeous. The only thing I don't like are the leaves in the fall, because we have so many trees. Oh my God. It's just terrible. We can't mulch them, or we gotta pick them up. There's so many of them. And away we go again. We're going to go on row 2. Now, I've put my zip ties in between each of the petals. So, again, I don't have to worry keeping it, because nothing's going to be on top of it, so it can go wherever. But again, I usually keep it about the same, like it's about a finger width. And then you can see how it lays on top of it. In between, in the gap. So we got 7 more. I just love these. I think they're so pretty. When you hang them up in your booth, and I usually put a whole bunch together. It's just so pretty seeing all the yellow. This yellow is so vibrant. Oh my goodness. It's like a sunshine yellow. It's not a goldy yellow. You can really see it when you're hanging it on your door and you're driving by somebody's house that has one. Hi, Virginia. How are you, honey? Thank you for joining. It's funny, I see my sunflowers around, and there was a house right around the corner from my mom's, actually. She came to one of my craft sales that I had at my mom's house. It was on a yard sale days, and we just set up did a little pop-up shop at my mom's. And she bought one. She bought one of my Ukrainian sunflowers. I did them yellow on the top, and instead of green leaves, I did the royal blue. Well, they were just beautiful. And then I did a special center. I didn't use the sunflower center. I used something different. This lady hung that on her door, and she never took it off, and I think it was hanging there for about 5 years. And she sold her house, and my cousin's daughter bought the house. And at the family reunion, my sister-in-law said, "Oh my God, you bought the house on the corner." And she said, "Yeah," and she said, "Oh my God, you took that wreath down." She said, "Oh my God, it was hanging on a thread." She said, "That was one of Robin's." She had made it for that lady years and years ago, and the lady, she just never took it down. She just kept it up the whole time. And there was a girl that lived around the corner from my brother in Sarnia, a city just not too far from us. She had one on her door. I don't know how long it was there, and I almost wanted to just stop and put a new one on because it looked so bad. Oh. But yeah, they do have a lifespan. They don't last forever, unfortunately, especially if they're out in the weather. Now the one on my door would last forever because it gets absolutely nothing. It's very well protected, and it's on the north side, but if there's any weather getting to them at all, you know, they look nice for a couple of years, and then it's time you have to replace them. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad, Virginia, that you're doing better. That's awesome. That's a big surgery to recoup from. Okay. Here we go. There's row 2. Isn't that pretty? And I'm going to cut these off. And then we're going to get on to the last row. And then we get to start putting it all together, which is what we're all wanting to do here. This guy's sold. He's going on Monday. Okay. So now where we're going to put, like I said, we're going to be putting these zip ties on top of our first row, so in between these. So we have, see, we have all of our little spaces because we didn't keep our we didn't keep the end of that petal right up to the edge. We've got lots of room there to put it on. I did some cleaning in my craft room and I threw all the zip ties in my working container here that were on the table, and I got a couple of different sizes of them in here. These ones I think are the 6-inch ones that I use. I don't like it to be that I'm really fighting to get them attached. My fingers don't work as well as they used to. Okay, and one more. There we go. So now we have our last 8 cut here. Oh, there's my extra green one. I did cut the right amount. Okay. So we're going to bring the top down, get our corners nice, do our scrunch, keeping our hands on the mesh on the table, looking at it. I like the way that looks, so it's going to look the same on my wreath. Now, when you put this on, I lay it right on top of the one underneath. Like the end of it is, you can see it when the petals separate. You're going to lay that right on top of it and bring your zip tie back to the edge of the wire. And it's going to stick up a little bit. See how it kind of sticks up a little bit? You want it to do that because that gives your flower some texture. And when you put your center on, it's gonna keep everything all under control for you. So we'll do that again. And when you're making this, you'll understand what I mean by laying your petal on top of the one underneath. So there's my end of my first one. And there's my zip. So I'm going to lay it right on top. These fingers are actually pinching the top of the nub of that petal. And then I pull that back and I pull it tight and I pull these out. And there we are. Oh, I guess I missed one. I didn't put it in the right spot. I'm hip hopping all over here. Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of painting this week. I posted all those scarecrows that I did, and cutting and sawing and making quite a mess actually. So I didn't want to make a mess today. I didn't want to, Dave and I had to go uptown. I had to get some letters to make. I've got a couple of home boards that I'm making. So I had to get my letters because I just use wood letters and I glue and pin nail them onto the board. Some of them I stencil, but the home ones, like those sports ones that I'm doing, those are actual pine letters that I buy at the dollar store. And I spray paint them. And then I I put them on with, I use that Gorilla Tape, and I put just a little piece on the back of it, and then I pin nail it on. So I think it makes a really nice finish, and most of those are going to be either sitting on a bar or maybe at a front door, but I wanted them to be kind of like they can be wiped off, and the paint is really, the spray paint on them works really, really well for coverage. And don't forget, guys, when you're doing this, to really pull those zip ties. And then take your edges and pull them over so they cover up those little gappy holes. Yeah, so my sales start September 20th. My fall sales starts September 12th is a big one. It's at Mike Weir Park in Sarnia, Brights Grove actually. And then the 26th, I'm going to be at Rock Glen, which is it's a recreational place. There's people live there, and they also have people have trailers that are there, and they're having a sale. And that's pretty much it for September. And then I have the big museum sale near Grand Bend, which is about 15 minutes from here. But that's where I'm going to be showcasing my Christmas, because it's the week after Thanksgiving. And here in Canada, after Thanksgiving, people don't think about anything but Christmas and Halloween. And Halloween's not a big deal here. Some people do really decorate a lot for Halloween. I usually have 2 or 3 pieces, but I don't always sell everything that I make for Halloween. It's just not the same as in the U.S. You know, the patriotic is not the same. Thanksgiving is not the same. But Christmas is a big deal. And I always try, whoops, I'm going to cut those yet. I always try when I'm going to a market, especially for Christmas, is to make sure that I have stuff small enough that people can carry. You know, if they're coming to a craft sale and they're, you know, especially a larger one, having something that you can put in a bag is good. I bring bags for my wreaths, and I bag every wreath that I sell. So if you leave my place with a wreath, it's going to be in a plastic bag. And I also offer, like, if you want to come back and pick it up after, I just put their name on it, and then they can come back and get it later. Well, and there we go. I think that's all of them. Yeah, don't have any. Push those all down. And there's our wreath. Now, we're going to join the two together. So we're going to put the green one down, and we're going to put the yellow one on top, and then we're going to flip it over. Okay, so, and then you can push down on it or whatever. Now, I got my big ones in here. The outside ring of the yellow one and the fourth ring of the 12-inch is what you're going to join together. And then I just kind of tighten it just a tiny little bit, because I pull them all at the same, once I'm done, getting them kind of, getting the wreath kind of, you know, centered. And if you pull one too tight and it's kind of wonky, then it doesn't look right. So you just kind of have to take your time. These are gorgeous. And we got one more over here. So I put 4 of these in, just one on each top, bottom, and each side. I'm just kind of tighten it up a little bit, not too much. So there's what it looks like on the back. I'm going to cut these off. And there. See how nice and big that is. So now, I buy the 6 1/4 inch wreath, or the sunflower centers. I buy the 6 1/4 ones. There is a smaller one. I think it's 5 1/2. What I do is I attach the chenilles, and I've got pins in there, and then I just put the Gorilla Tape over the pin so that it won't come out. And that's in the center, so I just put that down the middle. And then again, I flip it over. And try to kind of center that thing, you know, where you've got your chenilles together in the center. And fastening them as close to the center as you can. So I usually do row 3 on the 8 inch. Or I'm sorry, row 2. The second one from the inside. You might need to use your scissors to grab that guy and pull it. The closer you are to the center of the 8 inch, the tighter you can get your center on your flowers. You don't want to pull too tight, but you want to have it so that there's no gaps. Oh, I did the wrong one. I need this one. There we go. And there. So there, that's kind of what I'm doing, you can see. So then I'm just going to take these two, and I'm going to tug lightly, not too hard, twist about 3 times, then just tuck that down in, and then these two. Tug lightly. See how that looks. See how nice and tight that is. And there's your sunflower. You can put, I usually put little bees or something on mine, and then I put a, you know, I cover the back, but you guys know how to do that. So, yeah, Lisa, don't worry about it. I will be posting it on my YouTube channel, and it will be on Facebook on my page here for 30 days. But I will be throwing that on my YouTube channel at My Content Creations. And I'm going to be putting a list of what you need to have to make it. How many pieces of material, what I use, the whole thing. So it will make it easy for you. Okay, thanks for joining. I'm so happy that you're here. Make sure you guys all subscribe to my channel. I keep dipping up and down below 17,000, under 17,000. I'm like 22 away, I think, from hitting the 17,000 mark again. So if you could sprinkle this video to friends, I would love you for it. And if you could hit the follow button, that would be amazing. As well on my YouTube channel. I'm not monetized or anything. I just do this for fun. I'm just a senior gal who loves to make beautiful things and share what I've got with everyone. So here it is. I'm going to be making, I've got 2 more cut out. I'm going to be making a couple more, but I'm going to say adios to you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you get a moment making one, please send me a picture of it and show me it on your door. I would love to see it. And again, if anyone is interested in purchasing, I do ship. Unfortunately, not to the U.S. right now, but I do ship within Canada. So reach out to me and we can chat. Okay? Look forward to seeing you all soon. And we shall talk to you all later. Adios. Bye-bye.